Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. This is your teacher, Waji. Today we will talk about, first of all, Ramadan Mubarak. Today we will talk about writing. So many of you asked me about writing, about how do we do the plan because they are still confused. So I did this small video for you to understand exactly how to do the plan, and we can review together how can we do a plan for our writing. So in today's lesson, our objectives is like to make the plan. Second is to write an essay. So let's go ahead. So as a question in the exam, we will face a question like this. It might be different. It might gonna talk about something else. But for now, we are going to work on this question. For some of you, we did this question in the class. Okay, so if they didn't understand how we did it, focus and listen carefully for now. Now, if you can read the question, in the question they are saying, in your English class, you have been talking about school subjects. Your teacher has asked you to write this essay. Which do you think is more useful to learn at school? Foreign languages or science? Why? Write your essay in 110 or to 130 words in an appropriate style. Okay? So, when we gonna write, as you remember, I told you, you have to work on your handwriting. Second, punctuation. Don't forget the punctuation, it's very important. Third, you have to do the plan before you write. Why do we have to do the plan? Because the plan will organize our work. We are not going to get lost. Now, you will see later how to do this, why it's going to help me not to get lost. But before I do the plan, I need to read the question again. So let's see what are the things that might help us in the question. Now, in the first line, they said, in your English class, you have been talking about school subjects. Okay? So, sorry. So, you have been talking about school subjects. If you see here, you can from this part, okay, just a second. From this part, you can see like this is would give you a way in order to create the introduction from this line. So you have been talking about school subjects. So you are in a class, you are talking for students. You can talk about the school as an introduction, how the school start, what does the school do, etc. Okay, where do people learn, etc. Also, this line from this word here, you can see that they want an essay. So for writing an essay, there are rules. Okay, you have to leave space at the beginning of the paragraph. You have to make paragraphs. You don't when you write an essay, you don't start with in for example, in my opinion or once upon a time. Okay, you can say I believe, okay, at the end of the introduction, for example, but don't say in the beginning. In my opinion, um, you can mention, but I prefer not to do. Okay. Again, when we continue, there is the second part. This question. Okay. So this question is you have to make your whole essay about this question, this statement. Let's say. So this statement is very important. Okay. Now, after we read the question carefully and we know like what is the statement here, the statement is they want to make a comparison between the foreign language or science. Okay. And why should I prefer one of them? Okay. Why should I say like this one, they people should learn more than this one? So now we go to the plan. And don't forget, when we are going to write, we need to be strict for the number of words that they want. Do not write more than 130 words. Okay? Now, if we go to the second page right now, so here is the plan, okay? As you can see here, I started with the introduction, okay? I started with what? With the introduction. So what should I write in the introduction? Now, in the introduction, you have to write, like, you have to introduce the topic of the essay. What is the topic of the essay here? Is about language and about learning and about schools, okay? So this is a good point, something you can introduce. So A, introduce the topic of the essay. Second, you have to provide a brief overview of the two subjects, which is foreign languages and science. So these are the two things that you should focus on in the introduction. Now, some of you, they might tell me like, Mr., what do you mean by introduce the topic of the essay? Well, if you read the first draft, you will understand more. If you remember, in the question, they said you are talking about school subject. So that means when I'm gonna write the introduction, I cannot talk anything about, for example, let's say about kitchen. Okay, I need to be strict for the school subjects. Okay, I need to be strict for learning. Okay, I need to be strict for let's say the how humans learn, the knowledge. Okay, so don't talk about your bag or your cat or your dog. It's going to be wrong. Okay. Now let's go back. So introduce the topic of the essay. Provide a brief overview of the two subjects. What do they mean by provide a brief overview of the two subjects? Here they are telling you like you need to tell us like what does that mean? What does foreign language mean here? Okay. So let's see. So the first draft, okay? Why did I wrote the first draft? Of course, when you are planning for the exam, okay, you need to consider the time that you are going to use. So do like this, or you can only make the plan, which is contained without a draft. Like here, the introduction, this is the plan, okay? So you can do it like this, okay? You can write the introduction first, put your ideas. After you put your ideas, you go to the body section. You write your ideas about the body section. Then you go to the conclusion. You write your ideas about the conclusion. Okay. For me, I prefer to do first drafts about what's the idea that I mentioned here. Okay. So based on the ideas that I mentioned here, okay, I can write my first draft. So the first draft, mine, is going to be like this one. In today's globalized world, knowledge of foreign languages and scientific principles are essential for success in many fields. So as you can see here, I introduced the topic of the essay, which is knowledge of foreign language and scientific. This is my whole essay is going to be about. It's going to be about foreign languages and scientific principles. Okay. Then I start like here to make a comparison. So, however, when it comes to which is more useful to learn in a school, I believe that foreign language are more important. So here I'm starting to support one over the other one. Here I'm supporting the foreign language. I believe foreign language are more important than science. Until here, this is the introduction. Okay, I told the reader what I'm going to talk about. I told them which one do I prefer. Okay, I provide for them an overview about the two subjects. Okay, now if I'm not, for example, let's say I'm feeling like this introduction is not good enough, I don't erase. Okay, don't you ever erase what you wrote. I go and I write a second draft. But before you do that, I want you to make sure like you wrote in a good handwriting and also you use good comprehension. Okay? Now, if I didn't like the first one, I go and I write a second draft. Okay? You can ask for a paper in the exam so you can make your own plan on that paper because as I told you, planning is only for you, but I prefer to see it. So make a plan. It's easier for you when you make a plan to write, because after you write the second draft, first draft, so the one that you agree on, the one that you want to use, you can just copy it, okay, for your paper. So this is all of it going on like a draft paper. Everything you are seeing here is on a draft paper. Okay, let's see the second draft of the introduction. In the present era of globalization, um, possessing knowledge of foreign languages and scientific principles has become crucial for success in various fields. In my opinion, among the two, learning foreign languages holds more significance in the school curriculum. Okay, so this is a different introduction. Okay, what I did is I rephrased the first draft. Okay, so the second draft is this exactly the same like the first one, but I rephrased it. I wrote it in a different way. I'm not convinced with the second draft. I can write a third draft. Okay, so the third draft, for example, I can say this one is different. I can say, for example, for thousands of years, schools have been the primary institution for learning various subjects to help achieve our dreams. Today, people are looking to achieve their goals more quickly, so they focus on specific subjects such as science or foreign languages. So, as you can see here, I wrote the introduction. I'm done with the introduction. I have nothing. I checked my punctuation. I checked the handwriting. I've done everything. After I finish writing the draft, this first, second, or third draft, I go back to this part and I check. Did I mention everything I wrote it in the plan here? If I did, so I'm good. Okay. Now, after we finish the first draft, we go to the body section. Okay, so in the body section, what should I write in the body section? What do you think? What are the things that I should write in the body section? Since this is an essay about foreign languages and science, and we said we're gonna make a comparison about them. So what do you think we should do? Of course, we're gonna have to compare them. So first part, I'm gonna talk about foreign languages. So argument in favor of learning foreign languages. What I'm gonna talk in this paragraph. Discuss the benefits of learning foreign languages. Okay, so this is the first thing that I'm gonna mention in that paragraph. Then provide examples of how knowing a foreign language can be useful. Okay, so these are the points that I'm gonna talk in the first paragraph about foreign language. The second part I should talk in the body section is argument in favor of learning science. So I can do it like this. Okay, I'm gonna argue about science and I'm going to argue about foreign language. Okay, I'm gonna provide examples for both of them. I'm gonna discuss the importance of science education. Okay, so provide examples of how studying science can be useful. The third part in the body section, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a comparison of the two subjects. So after I provide explanation for each one, okay, I will right now to make comparison between them. So I compare and contrast the two subjects. Then I explain why one subject might be more useful than the other one. So here I'm answering my teacher. If you went back to the first question, the statement that they told us to do is, which do you think is more useful to learn at school? Foreign language or science? So they want you to make a comparison here between them. And at the end they said why. So the last part of the body section, okay, is going to be the answer for why. Okay, why should I learn this one? So I make a comparison between them. So this is the first draft, okay? Now, some of you, they might tell me, Mr., you made a mistake, which is I should leave a space, if you notice that. So let's see. So do you see? Firstly, learning a foreign language provides numerous benefits. It helps us communicate with people from different cultures. So here I'm talking about A. I'm making an argument in favor of learning foreign languages. Okay, so I am doing number one, discuss the benefits of learning foreign languages. So one of the benefits is that you can communicate with people from different cultures, opens up job opportunities, and expands our world view. So number one is done here. Okay, until now here, this one is done. Okay, so what do I do right now? What should I continue right now? Okay, I right now should go to the second part. I should provide examples. Do you see? I'm going with a sequence. I'm going with the same order that I wrote in the plan itself. Okay, so for example, a person who speaks Spanish can communicate more effectively with people from Latin America, and this could be useful in a wide range of fields, such as business or health care. Okay, so as you see, I provide the example. I'm done with this one. With this paragraph, I'm done. Now I go to the second one, arguments in favor of learning science. Okay, now here I should go with the same sequence. Okay, I should go with one, I should go with two. Okay, now I continue. On the other hand, do you see, first I start with firstly, like subordinate conjunctions. You remember subordinate conjunctions when we use words like however, in addition, firstly, secondly, etc. Okay. Now here, why some of you they might say like secondly? Why Mr. didn't mention secondly? Well, here we are talking about science. We are not still talking about foreign language. If I'm gonna talk about foreign language, so yes, I should say secondly. Okay. But here, firstly, since I'm not talking about foreign language, so I can go with the on the other hand. I'm using different expressions to talk, okay? So on the other hand, science education is crucial for understanding the natural world and the technology that surrounds us. Okay? Science knowledge can lead to innovations and advancements in medicine, technology, and environmental protection. It's also necessary for understanding crucial issues, such as climate change, and how we can take action to address them. So, if you notice here, I start to provide examples without using the word for example. It's also necessary for understanding current issues. Okay, so here I start to provide the example. Okay. Also, when I said science knowledge can lead to innovations and advancements in medicine. Also here, example. So, I'm talking about each part in sequence. Discuss the importance of science education. I start so. Science education is crucial for understanding natural world and the technology that's around us. So that's why it's important. Okay. Now let's go to the second part. Comparison of the two subjects. Okay, so I start in comparison. While science education is undoubtedly, okay, I can't say this one, undoubtedly essential, I believe that foreign language learning is more useful. This is because in today's interconnected world, okay, so as you can see, compare and contrast the two subjects. So what I'm doing here is I'm comparing, okay? So in comparison, while science education is undoubtedly essential, I believe that foreign language learning is more useful. This is because in today's interconnected world, knowledge of foreign language can help us communicate with people from all over the globe and can provide opportunities that are otherwise unavailable. Okay? So while science education is undoubtedly essential, so here I start to compare between the science and the foreign language. And in the second part, I explained why one subject might be more useful. So I start to provide details, or let's say proofs or evidence that tell why do I support the foreign language. Okay, so this is the last part of the body. You see, I'm going with a sequence. I'm not changing the sequence, not the order. Okay, so after I finish the first draft, I read it. I see if there are any mistakes, any things I should improve. Okay, there are like maybe like you're gonna tell me like, Mr. There is something, so I'm gonna keep it for you to talk about during the class. Okay, there are some things I left it in the writing, so make sure to read the first draft very well, so we can talk about it in the class. So this is the first draft. I read it. I make sure everything is correct, punctuation, the words, the writing, etc. And if I'm good with it, I go to the conclusion. I can, if I want to make a second draft, it's up to me and for my time. Okay, I can make one draft, I can make second draft. The idea of making a draft is just to make sure like your handwriting is good, your punctuation is good, the order of the sentence is quite good, the way that you connected the sentence is good, then you write it for your exam paper. So you don't make any scratch on the exam paper and your paper would be clean. That's the point of making a draft. So make sure to make a draft before you write. I'm not going to read the second draft. I'm going to give you some time. You can pause the video and see and read and make like, let's say, check my plan with the second draft. So make sure to write this in your notebook. Okay? Make sure to write the plan in the notebook. Now, this is the second draft. Now, we're going to go to the conclusion. So, in the conclusion, what do I write in the conclusion? What do you think I should write in the conclusion? What are the main points that I should mention in the conclusion? First, summarize the main point of the essay. Second, restate the thesis statement. Okay, so let's see how I did it. In conclusion, while both foreign language learning and science education are important, I believe that learning a foreign language is more useful. It provides numerous benefits that are becoming increasingly important in today's globalized world. So what I did is I restate this thesis statement. I summarized the main point of the essay. I mentioned like what I did in the body section. Summarize the main point. This is for like just for the body section. That's it. That's the writing. So if you still have any questions, you can ask me. Some of you, they might say, Mr. But I don't make my plan like this. Okay? I make it like this. It's up to you. You can make it like this. You can make it in any way you want. So as you can see, this is the introduction. This is the body. This is the conclusion. So when I'm going to write, I go in details. Some of you, they might use less words. I don't mind, as long as you understand what you are writing, as long as you understand the order of the plan. So when you are going to write your own writing, you have to follow this order. You have to start with the introduction, point A, then point B. After I finish this part, I go to the body, point A, point B, point C. Okay? Then after I finish these points, I go to the conclusion. That's it. That's the writing. Now, if you want, these are tasks. You can do it at home and you can send it to me on my email. As you can see here, I'm always highlighting the important points. Your English speaking friend Carrie has asked you if you know a good film to watch. So here you are going to talk about a film. Good? You are going to suggest for him. Okay? Write a message to Carrie. In your message, you should recommend a film to watch, give Carrie some information about film, invite Carrie to watch it with you. So these 3 points, okay, these you can use them in the body. You can use them actually in the whole message, because here I have a message. I don't have a essay. So message is different from essay, because we have different types of writing. We have the autobiography, we have a story, we have a message, we have an essay. So each one of them has different way for writing. You remember when we write an autobiography, we talked about the person life, we talked where he born, when, what are his achievements or her achievements, what did they do, are they still alive or not? So these points. When I write a message or a letter or an email, I start with dear. Okay. And then at the end I mention my name with best regards or best wishes. When I write a story, I can start with once upon a time. I can start with one day. Okay, so you remember all the stories that we did in the class. Okay, another task, if you want, this is a story. Your English teacher wants you to write a story. Your story must begin with this sentence. Jamie puts the key in the lock and turned it. Write 90 to 110 words. Write your story below. Okay, so here they want you to write, these are the questions that you might face in the exam. So they want you to write a story. Okay, so when he say like a story, it means like it's different from writing an essay. It's different from writing a letter. Here I don't use paragraphs too much. I just need to make sure that there is the sequence. Okay, and since they said from the statement that they mentioned, Jimmy put the key in the lock and turned it. Okay, so I can make it as a horror story. Okay, maybe after he turned it, the door opened and like a great monster came out from the house. He saw something strange. Okay, he saw a weird figure. So it's up to you to what to write. Okay, you can start with once upon a, when they said like your story must begin with this sentence. That doesn't mean that you should start the story with this sentence. You can start with once upon a time Jimmy was going back home, and once he put the key in the lock and turned it, something strange happened. Okay, so this is can be the introduction. Then you start to talk about the body, like what's going to happen in that after this. Is he going to see a monster? If he saw a monster, you're gonna have to describe the monster or how it looks like. Then what is the monster going to do? What is Jamie going to do? Is he going to run? Is he going to kill the monster? What's gonna happen? Okay, so it's a story. So use your imagination. The third one, these are all tasks. You can work on them in the house and you can send it to me by email or you can send it to class teacher. In your literature class, you have been discussing the importance of reading. Write an essay explaining why reading is important using examples from your own experience. So here I don't have a comparison. Okay, so here I'm just going to talk about reading. I'm not going to compare between two things. So don't compare between like reading and, for example, let's say writing. No, here I just want you to focus on reading. Why is it important? Why reading like can educate us? What are the points that can reading do in order to improve our English? Okay, so you can send me your writing as a PDF file with your plan, the way I did it, for example, or the way you want to do it. I don't know how. Written, okay, to this email, or you can send it to me on Class Dojo. I hope I've cleared everything for you about writing. If you still have questions, we can talk more during the school, or you can text me on Class Dojo. Make sure to watch the video several times before you ask or before you start to write, because The first time people might be, lose focus or not pay attention for everything. So make sure to read everything, listen to everything carefully. Read also. You can pause the video whenever you want. You can wait. Okay. Um, this is exactly what we did in the school, like what we were explaining during the school time. So enjoy your time. I hope you are going to have a lovely day today. And Ramadan Mubarak. See you later. Bye bye.